Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Madam Speaker. Proposition believe that the responsibility of a government is not only to save life temporarily, but also to protect the dignity, stability, and future of its people in the most fair and sustainable possible. We believe that policies made during disaster must not create new suffering for communities, especially for vulnerable groups who already face economic and social challenges. Therefore, the state must choose solutions that allow people to remain safe while still preserving their livelihoods, identities, and social connections. Through stronger infrastructure, effective evacuation system, early warning technology, environmental protection, and disaster education, the government reduces the risks faced by citizens without forcing them to abandon their homes. Relocation, on the other hand, only moves people physically while often creating a new economic, psychological, and social problems. Disaster can still happen in the other place, and that means relocation doesn't guarantee permanent safety. Mitigation is therefore more realistic and long-term solution. Many relocated families struggle to rebuild their lives because the new areas may not provide the same economic opportunities and social support system. By prioritizing mitigation, the government protects people without taking away the things that make their life stable and meaningful. And we here so proud to propose that the best government is not one that simply moves people away from danger, but one that empowers protect its citizens where they are. In this speech, I'm going to do three things. First is protecting safety without destroying community stability. Second, protect educational continuity, and safety should protect people well-being. Firstly, prioritizing disaster mitigation creates greater long-term benefit. It protects people without forcing them to lose the foundation of their lives. People are able to remain safe while still maintaining their homes, jobs, culture, education, and social support system. And this means people are not only surviving disaster, but are also able to continue living normally afterward and after disaster happened and done. Meanwhile, the relocation often creates new suffering even after people are moved away from the dangerous areas. This can be seen in many disaster-prone regions where located communities struggle to adapt because the new environment is completely different from the one they relied on before. Example, a fisherman who are moved far from coastal areas lose their access to their income. A farmers may no longer have a productive land, and a small local business lose their customer and community networks. And in the end, relocation may reduce one risks, but it creates economic and social instability that affects people for years and years. A lot of countries that frequently face disaster have shown that communities can survive and recover better when mitigation systems are strong. In several earthquake and tsunami-prone areas in Asia, governments that improve evacuation routes, disaster drills, and warning systems were able to reduce significantly while allowing communities to continue living in their original place. Once society believes in prioritizing mitigation, government will focus more on building resilient communities, instead of simply moving them away whenever disaster happen. Citizens became more prepared, infrastructure became stronger, and communities remain socially and economically stable even in disaster-prone areas. Next, one of the biggest harm caused by relocation is the loss of stability in children's lives. When families are suddenly moved away from the disaster-prone areas, children are forced to leave behind their schools, teachers, friends, and daily routines. During their growth, this kind of disruption can strongly affect their academic performance, emotional condition, and ability to adapt socially. Many students struggle to focus after relocation because they must adjust to unfamiliar environments, while their families are also dealing with the economic and psychological pressure. Government can strengthen school buildings, improve evacuation system, provide disaster preparedness training, and create emergency responses plans that protect students without interrupting their learning process. In many disaster-prone regions, communities recover more effectively when schools continue functioning after emergencies. Students who are able to return to familiar classroom and maintain normal routines tend to experience less stress and learning loss compared to those who must relocate for a long period of time. And stability helps children feel secure, and mitigation also create more sustainable outcomes because educational institutions are able to recover faster and maintain continuity during crisis. Schools and universities that are supported with disaster preparedness systems, saving effectiveness even after disaster occur, can plan to continue when will the disaster happen. And this protects not only academic progress but also research, skill development, workforce preparation, and overall human capital growth within in society. If relocation keeps disruption, how the university students' learning progress, why we should depend on it. Thirdly, disaster mitigation protects people's mental and emotional stability while still keeping them safe from disaster. During it, people do not only suffer physically but also physiologically. People feel safer and more secure when they are able to remain in familiar environments surrounded by family members, neighborhood, and support system they trust. By doing mitigation, it can help people reduce fear and panic because they are trained and prepared to respond to disaster instead of constantly worrying about losing everything, like such as losing their home, losing their important things. Being forced to leave homes, communities, and places filled with personal memories can cause feeling of loss, anxiety, isolation, and uncertainty. Even when the state provides new housing, many relocated communities still struggle emotionally because recovery is not only about physical shelter, but also about preserving identity, belonging, and social connection, especially children and elderly individuals who depend heavily on social stability routine. This creates a major problem for the state itself. Distrust towards government policies may increase, while mitigation creates the opposite effects. Communication that are educated for disaster tend to feel more resilient because they are understanding what action to take. In conclusion, prioritizing disaster over relocation is a more beneficially approach because it protects people without forcing them to sacrifice their life they have already built. Through our arguments, we have shown that mitigation preserves community stability, protect educational continuity, and maintain emotional well-being while still reducing disaster risks effectively. This is important because of the role the state is to not simply be moving citizens away when dangers happen, but strengthening communities so they are capable of surviving and recovering with respect. People deserve more than physical survival alone. Here we are to win people welfare, and we are so proud to propose this motion. Thank you.